Hey, good morning, traders. How are we doing today? Just getting our day started here, mapping out the swings. Let's jump over to the, what am I doing here? Boom. Our hourly. If you watch the overnight over the, if you watch the session I did over the weekend, just kind of talked about a couple things, but we were mapping this out. Is this, we have a test here and a retest here. Maybe we have a trade for higher highs. Election is kind of right around the corner. So just be careful about how you're trading. It's going to get really wobbly, and you want to have tight stops, tight targets. Maybe you're going 2-to-1 these days instead of 3-to-1, or maybe you're doing 1-to-1. Just think about these things because it's not a constant. It's not static. It's going to change, and so I'm just kind of cautious about it. I'm not afraid to trade, but I'm definitely paying attention to the smaller moves, making sure my stops are in the right spot. If I'm down here, excuse me, if I'm down here looking at a trade on this impulse up, and I've got this wash right here. I'm my stop is really really tight. Maybe even under that guy. I'm going to skip that one because he's already done that. And then as price moves up, I might hold on below here just to and not that I'm really over aggressive about it, but I just last week I was break even. I kind of made a couple of I had to leave, and so I just I had lost a couple trades, so I just was a little more overprotective than I normally was. But that's something that we can keep on talking about. But I dropped my charts. It keeps me calm, gives me an idea about what's going on. Price is going up, so that's not a problem. Maybe I'll throw on a Andrews fork. There's a probability that it's going to hit there, just to see how it's going. And I like to play with it like it's a piece of clay, that we're starting to form into something, or some dough that you're gonna massage out, and you're just kind of I'm just trying to see how things work together. I don't have does that really work? I don't know. And then is it gonna go down? Is there enough room? And just kind of get a feel for what broke through here. And that kind of did a. I don't get into that. Anyhow, so I'm thinking it's going to go up since it's going up. And I usually like to trade with the trend. So I kind of just sit back on these pullbacks and just wait for them to kind of play out. Does that make sense? Like they're going to play out over time. As it plays out, it plays out. I don't know, maybe right in here. Now, there we go, right? And remember our steps, right? Step one, impulse. That's the impulse leg. So this piece right here, this is our impulse leg. Step two is the shelf, right? So the shelf is being built. Boom, boom. I never got this fixed. Boom. And I can see how somebody might get confused. I can see this little wash right in here. But you have to ask yourself and go through the steps. Does it really count? That's where this comes in pretty handy, right? You have a shelf here. This year it popped up. You're like, oh, wait, Mike, maybe, I got a couple things there. But recognize where you're at in the swing, right? These guys are sellers, right? These are sellers that are waiting to sell into this, and you're buying into this. So uh, as much as we can argue and debate about this working out, it ultimately doesn't work out. You're going to be, somewhere as it takes off. If you don't manage it properly, you'll get stopped out and you'll take your hit. And I've done it. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that I've done it enough that I want to stay away from selling this tight. We have all this space, this tight. Let's see it play out, stretch out. Buyers and sellers are battling over positions and things like that. And then if you look over here, this is so much cleaner. So let's see if we can get another bounce down here for a launch up there. That's what I'd like to see. We have on a higher time frame, we have this piece up here. So how does that look? How does that feel? It feels better to me. Plus we got to stop here at 20 some odd bucks, and I'm in the swing. That to me is always nice. Is like if I can trade within the swing, if I can trade in here, because as you can see, as it takes out this high here, right? It takes out this high, it pulls back. Oftentimes I take a lot of my trades at the high or right near it. We don't always get a long run. That's some sound effects. We don't get a quick run. But and you see this here, and I'm just kind of jumping around to see some things popping out. You have an impulse, you have a pullback, test, retest. So let's say you get in here, you're still see how you're not getting there. And so you have to change your strategy. You break even. Do you go 1-to-1, 2-to-1? Like how do you can't manage this on the fly. You can't, because you're gonna end up trading your feelings, which is just not where you want to be. So let's get back to with the shelf. We have the wash. Step 3, wash. And look, I do this every day because I want it ingrained into my soul. I want it ingrained into my system so that I'm not, I can look at a chart from far away and see that there's an impulse, there's a wash, and there's a retest. I can see that there's an impulse, there's a test, and there's a retest. I mean, it happens over and over and over again. And you're gonna, then you scrutinize it. Does it do this? Does it do that? Where are we at? So right now we've hit our retest and it's starting to pull back, but it's only 6, not even 6 yet. The market hasn't opened yet. So I'm not trading until 7:15. I'm not, step 5, enter. I'm not eager to trade. I can sit back and watch and relax and have, more of a less than urgency to trade. I'm not on every tick. I'm here for the long term. I've been doing this a long time. I've done well with it. I'm not, driving Ferraris and traveling the world because I'm some master trader. I'm, grinding out trades just like everybody else. This is where we're at. And we're fighting machines, and we're fighting big equity. We're fighting all these things. And how we win that fight is by reading price, controlling our emotions, and making logical trades. So here's the news for the week. Monday, it looks like nothing. Tuesday looks like something. Consumers, job openings. So we have employment this week. That'll be where? Down here. Friday. Boom, boom. Unemployment rate. So Friday's going to be bouncing around. And then going back to what I was saying earlier, let's just check Wednesday because that's when somebody, a CAD guy speaks. Home sales coming out, non-farm employment. So no monetary stuff for us. So then, I don't know what I was saying. What I do every day is I look for my setup. I look for the impulse. And the cool thing is I can sit here and come into this at this point. If I'm on the tick, watching everything go by every time, all the time, I don't get a really good perspective. But I like this. This is cool. Looks like we've got the flow tuned in. We've got, and this was a runner past this, but you can see it bounce off that. Coil, it coils up, boxes, it'll price will, oh, that was terrible. Price will coil up often and just gather energy, and then boom, take off. Yeah, that's just over years of reading price, you kind of see this stuff. But that's how it goes, man. We're thinking about this this long here, and we have all the pieces of the puzzle. All the pieces of the puzzle here, and if it bounces back here, we can hopefully hop on something that will make us some money. If you have questions, comments, leave them below. I had a thing. Memberships at Patreon. It's only $25 a month. It's not. You're just, we're not moving. I'm not selling memberships to make a living here. I'm day trading, and I do this because it helps me get better at what I do. And if you're going to get better at what you do, you don't have to start a channel. You don't have to do anything to, but document your trades, write this stuff down, have these conversations with yourself. And by me putting it out here in the world, I have to think about all the people that are, that are looking for ideas, and, they come in with their Bollinger Bands or their Fibonacci retracements or their, whatever. And we were talking about it before over the weekend about my Fibonacci is pretty straightforward. I just go 50% of the pullback, and that's where I start to look for an entry if I'm going to do it. Let's, like for kicks and giggles, let's say you're on this swing here, you go down there, right? 50% is right there. Now the question is, where do you put your stop? Theoretically, it's got to be behind here. But now you're getting out of the 2-to-1 trade business or 3-to-1 trade business. You're getting into other challenges, and you got to manage it differently. I mean, there's just other things. But as a back of the envelope relative kind of like, let's see where this is going to land. I think a lot of machines and investors out there or traders out there are looking at this as the spot. So, all right, 6 o'clock. Talk in a couple hours.